Hi, today I'm going to tell you about a powerful natural remedy that's more effective than Nyquil and other over-the-counter cold remedies for treating symptoms of the common cold. Just look at this data. After just 3 days of taking this supplement, you've got a 30% reduction in cough. You've got a 65% reduction in the incidence of runny nose. Headache is down by 60%. Fatigue is improved by over 30%. And sore throat, sleep disturbances, all of these are markedly improved by using this natural remedy. When I looked at this data, I said, look at this 60 to 70% reductions in cold symptoms. This is better than everything that I prescribe for my patients. So what is this supplement that's so powerful? It's Andrographis Paniculata. This is a flowering herb that's native to Asian countries like India, China, Sri Lanka, and it's been used for over 2,000 years for its health benefits, primarily in treating infections, both viral and bacterial, and lately it's been studied for other applications, including cancer. So this chart here shows you all of the inflammatory markers that are improved with Andrographis. These include tumor necrosis alpha, the interleukins, COX-2, important immune mediators that modulate inflammation. And it's by reducing these that we see this dramatic improvement in these cold symptoms. It's basically working like Advil or Tylenol or other anti-inflammatories. But also, Andrographis has these antibacterial properties to inhibit the way that bacteria communicate with each other, aggregate, divide, and replicate. So across the board, what you see is some really interesting data showing you how versatile and how effective Andrographis really is. So the data I showed you before on the effectiveness of Andrographis was with an oral dose of 1,200 milligrams daily, and that was a study of 160 adults with cold symptoms randomized to placebo or Andrographis. So this is a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled trial, one of the highest quality studies that we see, and that's where we got these incredible 30 to 60, 67% reductions in the incidence of these cold symptoms, such that by day 3, most people were feeling pretty much back to normal. But that's not all. There's another study that I wanted to show you of 60 adults who had sore throat. So this is not the full-blown cold symptoms with the cough and the congestion and all that, but specifically looking at 60 patients with sore throat treated with Andrographis. And what we see here is the black lines are the patients who took the Andrographis, and then the white lines are your control group. And what you see is that on day 1 through 5, what we see is reductions in symptoms of pain, difficulty swallowing, throat swelling, cough. All of these symptoms are improved when we take the supplement versus the control group. A meta-analysis is probably the most kind of comprehensive way to look at the effectiveness of a compound. And here we've got data on Andrographis across different clinical trials. And everything to the left of the vertical line there is data that supports the use of Andrographis relative to placebo. And you can see that there's very little crossover. Very few trials have lines that cross over that middle point where it's questionable whether it's placebo or whether it's Andrographis. So the more data we have on the left side of that line, the more confident we are that this is an effective compound and it's not just random chance or it's all in our head, that this is actually having a biological effect to improve our cold symptoms. Here we look at some comparative data, which is another meta-analysis on a popular cold remedy that's natural, which is vitamin C. So when we look at the totality of data on vitamin C dating back to the 1970s and Linus Pauling, what we see is that there's really good evidence supporting the use of vitamin C. But in this meta-analysis, what you see is something different than what we saw with the Andrographis meta-analysis. What we see is a lot of the lines are crossing over the middle, where there's some evidence for, but it looks kind of similar to placebo. You've got a lot of territory on the right side of that line where we're not sure whether the data supports vitamin C versus placebo. So I'm not saying that vitamin C is bad, but I am saying that when you look at the evidence comparing Andrographis to prescription over-the-counter cold remedies like Advil or Motrin or Tylenol or Nyquil, and then you look at it also against popular natural remedies like vitamin C, there's a lot going for Andrographis as being kind of a sleeper and unknown compound that's little known, but is more powerful than a lot of the stuff that we usually go for. So my recommendation is that if you're thinking about all-natural cold remedies, put Andrographis on your shopping list and think about taking this instead of some of the other things that might cross your mind. The data is really strong, and the magnitude of the impact is really significant. I mean, when you think about a 60% improvement in your sleep quality on day 3, I mean, who doesn't want to have reduction of symptoms and an improvement of sleep during those couple of first days of cold symptoms? I mean, those are rough, and this shows some really good evidence that it's going to make those symptoms go away faster, and you're going to feel a whole lot better. So the dose that we talked about that is studied in clinical trials is 1,200 milligrams daily. And I've got a link here in the description for a good 1,200 milligram capsule from a reputable company that has good third-party testing and good quality controls. I don't get any royalties or any kind of kickbacks. It's just something that I found and I want to share with you. It's something that I'm using for myself and my family. So I hope this helps you find a good, reliable, natural cold remedy to use for you and your family. And I thank you for watching. Stick around. I've got another great video on a potent anti-inflammatory that can help you with your next problem. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.